Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SilverSilk and More channel. My name is Nilay Patel. I'm the owner, designer, and educator here at SilverSilk and More, and I want to welcome you. If you are new to this channel, I hope you will give it some love over on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to it and give this video a giant thumbs up if you enjoy this content and this project. You can find these materials in the video description, and most of them you'll find over on the silversilkonline.com store and even the kits for this project, and many others as well. This is a live video, which means that I get to enjoy talking to some of my folks and customers and friends out there in the virtual world. So throughout the video, I'm going to flash their comments and just say a quick hello to folks as they're tuning in. We've got Miss Donna in the house. Hi, Donna, and Stephanie, and Sarah, and Mary. We've got Miss Joan in the back helping out with posting links and getting information out to you guys. Hi, Robin, over from YouTube. Miss Lorena is here as well. So fun. And I'm excited about today's project. It's going to be a quick set of earrings that'll be really fun to put together. And I don't know, they just make a really fun, fashionable statement that will be a nice addition to your spring wardrobe. And not to mention those cute little crystal butterflies that are also in it as well. Hi, Becky. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Pamela. All right, so I'm going to flash around to my work board and we are just going to get started. So I've got some tools laid out here that I'm going to be using for this project. Some chain nose pliers from Weber's, one of my favorite tool companies. I've got some round nose pliers as well. Trying to decide where I should put it on my board here. I've got some nylon jaw pliers. This will be used to straighten out the wire. That'll be used for the earrings themselves. And so I'm going to have those out to the side. And then I've got a pair of cutters as well from Lindstrom, another one of my favorite brands. They make excellent cutters if you are truly invested in jewelry making and want a really sharp pair that you'll have for a very long time. Lindstrom is the way to go. Okay, those are the tools that you'll need. So not a whole lot, right? As far as materials go, you'll need some craft wire. This is gold 20 gauge craft wire. It's extremely soft, I will say, or at least half hard, I guess would be the more technical term. You can hammer this with a hammer that has sort of a nylon head to it to strengthen it and to make the wire less flexible after you've shaped it. But it will be inside of some pipe chain, SilverSilk pipe chain, and so that'll also give it some structure. But you will need about a foot, maybe 18 inches. I always like to err on the extra side. And while we're talking about our craft wire at this specific point in time, I'm actually going to go ahead and show you how to straighten it. So grab the end with your chain nose pliers, and you're just going to run your nylon jaw pliers along the wire and squeeze down on the jaws. This will help to also warm up the wire so that it's ready to bend, and it'll work harden it ever so slightly as well. So now you can see it's a lot more straight than it was before. So now I don't really need my nylon jaw pliers unless I'm just really kinked up later. Okay, I'm also going to just cut this in half because we're going to be making 2 earrings. And so I'll have that on the ready. Okay, then you'll need a couple of butterfly charms. These were so fun to include in the Beadscapade kit, but they are currently on the website as well. So pretty, so sparkly, and it is a charm. It's got a little ring at the top, and they're very well made, I must say. Look at that. So pretty. So you'll need a couple of charms. You'll need a couple of pearls. Got these baked glass pearls that are absolutely delicious. Okay, you'll need 2 head pins in gold color. This will just match the same craft wire color that you're using. And you'll need a couple of, if I can grab them. Here we go. Butterfingers there. Earring wires, of course, also in the gold color. You will need 2 jump rings that look like this. These are about 6 millimeters of the inside diameter and 7 millimeters in total with a 1 millimeter sized wire that's basically creating the jump ring. Hi, Shira. Good morning to you as well. Thanks for tuning in. You will need, well, this is optional, I will say. I have some different sort of cord ends that I'm working with today, but you can use my pipe chain end caps that I typically use for all my videos. I just happen to have these on the table, so I'm going to use them. I did include them in the new kits that are on the website. Unfortunately, I couldn't include them in the Beatscapade kit because they weren't to in my hands early enough. But in case you're needing to cover up the ends, I will say that they are optional, though. You don't need them in order to still have a gorgeous earring with the pipe chain. This is a color that I produced called Waterfall, I believe. It's not currently available by itself on the website, but it is available in kits. And it is specially procured just for that. It is a blue tubing, silicone tubing that has a layer of rainbow tinsel in a light blue color, which is that sparkle that you see. And then knitted over that is dark blue wire. So it creates this multi-layered, very flashy, very sparkly type of knitted wire chain that you can stuff, as you can see, because it's got a little hole through it. You can stuff it with anything up to 1 millimeter. So whether that be leather cord, beading wire, craft wire, thread, really just about whatever stringing material you can think of through it and be able to craft with it. If you do have any sort of allergy toward rubber or silicone, probably not the best crafting material for you. But if you don't and want to err on the exciting crafting side, then this is a stuff for you to craft with. So fun, very great chain filler material, and just very high end looking. So I just cut that in half, and each half is probably about 5 inches, give or take, maybe even 6 if I dare say. Um, Again, just having a little extra, not a bad thing. So just half that in half. Redundant, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna start with the one earring, and I'm gonna have my pipe chain and my craft wire ready to go. I'm going to pick up my craft wire. I'm going to then grab my round nose pliers, and I'm just gonna make a simple loop here at the top simply by using the top part of my plier and kind of grasping onto the wire and rotating it until it starts to become this really round Q shape. And that wire end should be touching the stem. Once you've done that, you can either grab your chain nose pliers or you can reinsert back into your round nose pliers. But instead of going all the way in as I did, I'm just going to stay at the very tip. And I'm going to bend it back toward me so that my loop is going to be centered. Just like that. I call it breaking the neck, which I realize sounds insanely violent, but in the terms of jewelry making, it's something that you'll remember because it is a little jarring, and you will have the most perfect round loops ever. Then all you do is string your pipe chain right through the wire, or string your wire through the pipe chain rather. And this gives you now a material, a textile to start crafting with. I will say if you are using those end caps that are in the newer kits, you can string those on as well, or the open cord ends. And what I do is I sort of gently start to push in my cord, my pipe chain as well as I can to kind of fit everything in. There shouldn't be any wires or anything sticking out as well. And then you just simply push it right down and you get this really great finish to it. Again, you saw it without the cap and it still looked great. So you don't really need them unless you just really want to have them. And then this is your opportunity to craft however you want to. If you want nothing else on this, you can cut it off and attach your butterfly here down at the bottom and call it good. These earrings are a little extra, so they're going to have a little bit more of a design pizzazz to them. So I'm going to start by curving it around into a half circle. that's about 15 millimeters apart. Maybe actually a lot bigger than that. Let's just say 1 inch, 1 and a quarter inch. And then, if I remember my shape correctly, because now I'm blanking on how it actually looked, but let me see what it is real quick. After you do that, I'm going to grab it here at the top and I'm just going to twist it around. So we're almost making a number three with this. Okay. So I've just twisted that around. And now we're going to just lift this right up. And the idea here is to create sort of a wispy shape so that it looks like the butterfly is sort of creating this little trail of magic sparkles behind it as it's flying. At least that was my imagination for this design. Okay, I'm going to use my thumb and press this back and then just kind of press it down. So I get this really cool funky shape that I can now kind of play with and get stuff lined up. Everything is going to be hanging pretty much down and south, and so I want to make sure that I have all the wires and stuff pointing this direction. And now is your time to manipulate and kind of curve things however you wish to. It's a very asymmetrical earring, and so you can imagine whenever you're wearing it, it's going to be quite off center, but very artistic in the making. And so now I'm ready to either string on a pipe chain end cap if you want to, or an open cord end, or nothing at all. Totally up to you. And also, before I do that, I think I want to string on my jump ring because I'm going to have some issues with trying to get that through the pipe chain later. The jump ring is there to use for the earring hook. And so I want to make sure that the seam is completely closed, which it looks like it is. I'm going to string that on and just have it go over the pipe chain and kind of bring it up and around there at the top. And I'm just going to leave it there, which I don't know. I guess I could have fit it on the other side. Silly me. I guess once my butterfly's on there, I won't be able to do that. So probably a good thing that I've put that on there. And I'm just going to let that hang out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead while we're here and grab one of my open cord ends since I've got one. And I'm going to start to push this over the pipe chain. And I will say some of those wires are trying to be rogue and not fit in, but you just kind of squeeze it in. Whoops, with your nail. It looks like it came out anyways, my jump ring, but that's okay. I'll put it back. I can still slip it over what I've got. Okay. So yeah, just try and gently stick that right over the pipe chain. Let it know whose its commander is. And once you've gotten it on there, it is pretty much good to go. So I can make another simple loop here at the bottom. I am going to trim it off about half an inch to where I have a half inch of wire. And I'm just going to press it out away from me and use my round nose pliers to wrap it back up toward me. So I'll grasp the end with my chain nose pliers, or excuse me, with my round nose pliers, and I'll start to turn it toward me. You'll notice that I get this really sharp, like, I don't know, straight angle that I really don't want in there because I want my loop to be round. So I'm going to go ahead and just trim that right off. And it's good because I've still got a little bit of wire to be able to create my loop. And the only difference is it'll be super round this time. So go ahead and continue rolling it toward you until you get that shape established. And that looks really good. Okay, and I've got this really fun and funky shape that I've got to work with to attach all of my elements to. So yeah, I'll go back in and properly put on my jump ring. And now I can start to attach all of my elements together in a fabulous way to get this earring put together. I'll open up that simple loop I made earlier, string on my butterfly, and just have it suspend and dangle there like it's having a great time. And to the jump ring, I can attach my earring hook, of course. So I'll probably have to go in from this side. Okay, and you want to be strategic about where your earring hook is hanging. In this case, I want the butterfly to stick out whenever it is on the to think of how humans are positioned. If I am here, I'll just wear it. There we go. So it's to my left um, as it's going in. Or no, sorry, my right side as it's going in. And so if you're wanting to hook it on the right side of your earlobe, you'll want the earring hook to face left and then vice versa for the other one. I know that required a little bit of strategic thinking, y'all. It's like, which way does this hang? And then finally, I can use one of my head pins to do a quick little simple loop to my pearl. So same principle here. Once I've strung my bead on, I will bend and fold that wire straight over it to create a 90-degree angle bend. Trim it off to where you have about a 1/2 inch of wire left. Grasp the end with your pliers. You want a smaller, discrete loop so you'll be at the closer to the tip of the pliers. And then start to fold it in. You'll get the straight edge, of course, just go ahead and trim that right off and continue folding it in. With the pearls and any round shapes, it's a little bit more tricky to be able to hold on to everything and turn it accordingly. But once you get a pretty good grip on it, it should be okay. Okay, I'm just a little bit off, so I'm going to just straighten it with my chain nose pliers. And now I'm ready to connect my bead bauble to my butterfly earring. Okay, so just open it right up. Find that simple loop that you made earlier and connect it and just close that back up. And you've got this fun, artistic little dangly earring in minutes. And in fact, let's go ahead and make the other one. I enjoyed it so much. So the trick on the other one is that our butterfly will need to face the other direction so that I've got symmetrically worn earrings as I'm thinking about it here. So again, let's start with our simple loop first. Okay, there we go. I went a little faster that time. And I'm going to string on an open cord end, grab my pipe chain, go ahead and squeeze all those wires and things. Sometimes you might have to take your chain nose pliers and pluck off any loose wire bits at the ends. With any of the silk chains, you don't have to worry about anything fraying because it won't. That is part of the smart work of the technology of how it's knitted. And once you've created your shape, you're ready to, or once you're done stringing all your materials, you can start to create your shape. That's what I was trying to say. So here we go. You can use this as a template and sort of just match stuff up. If it's a little bit off, totally okay. Looks like it's going to be pretty even. So it looks like my bend is about right here. Before I make that last bend this time, though, I'm going to make sure that I can string on the open cord end to this side. Perfect. And now I'm ready to sort of close all this up as I am done almost bending this. Okay, we'll go ahead and create our simple loop here at the end. I just use my thumb, in fact, to press that right forward, and it's ready to be made into a simple loop. Okay, trim about a 1/2 inch up. Grab your round nose pliers. Start to form. I will say one tip about using round nose pliers, it needs to feel comfortable in your hands, and the motion of how you're making the simple loop must be comfortable for you in order for the loop to be pretty successful. If it starts to feel uncomfortable, then You might accomplish a loop, but it might not look as best if you're really relaxed into it and forming it to the best of your, ability to work with the tool. Um, so just practice makes perfect is all I'm trying to say, I guess, and trying to really get used to how the tool works. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of curve all this around, tweak it, mess with it as much as I need to get it looking similar to the shape I created earlier. The loops should be on their sides and not facing towards you. Okay, so that's almost together there. Kind of the fun part is just forming and molding this into something that looks and works perfectly. So this looks really good. I've got two very symmetrical shapes. So what you can do at this point is actually just flip this whole thing over and start to connect all your elements together. So I've got my butterfly here. And so I will open up this simple loop. I'm actually going to go ahead and before I do that, in fact, string on my jump ring. Inevitably, I will forget that I had to do that. I'll have to unconnect some things. Okay. And simply close up your simple loop again. And now we're ready to connect our pearl. So string on your pearl onto your head pin, give it a good fold forward with your thumb. Go ahead and cut off about a half inch up and begin rolling the end of that wire on your round nose pliers as such. When you get to a certain point, you can drop your pliers, cut off the end, and continue that rolling technique. If you've got a little bit of wire left over, just keep cutting it off in increments and continue that rolling action until you've reached to a point where it looks nice and symmetrical as such. Then you'll just simply open it up, or you can open up the simple loop from the other side of your earring that you made earlier and close it right back up. And now you're ready to connect the other earring hook. This time it will face to the right side. So let's see, how do we strategically put this in to face it the right way? That was not the right direction. Try this way. As long as the hook faces the right side, which it looks like it does now, a little bit of manipulation required there. And then I'm just going to press these two ends together to connect it and make sure that doesn't fall out. You can still twist and turn this as you wish. I'm just trying to make sure that they're both even and that the butterfly is suspended as it should be there. And making sure that everything is nice and similar. But these are so fun. I could just imagine the squiggles that a butterfly would make as it's flying away, and that is part of the imagination and romance of this beautiful design that I hope you will make as well. And I certainly did enjoy teaching it to you. So I'm going to flip my camera back around and see if there are any questions from us out there. Oh, hi, Cheryl. Happiness is live Nile tutorials in my feed, or live Nile tutorials in my feed. Thank you, Cheryl. That's so sweet. I do enjoy the live tutorials a lot. I enjoyed talking with you guys out there. Stephanie says, I like it with the cord ends. I'm going to have to grab some. Yeah, either that or the pipe chain end caps are the way to go. It's going to be perfect. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any outlying questions that I'm missing or anything major at least. And so hopefully the tutorial was informative and taught you something new and not to be afraid of shapes or asymmetry and embrace something artistic and abstract and fun, something that's joyous and whimsical. So yes, blue, love that color. Look at that color. Wow. Well, I enjoyed this time with you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. I will be back again this evening with the Softflex ladies, Kristen and Sarah, my bead besties, and we will create something random probably. But it's just a great way to get together with friends and you guys out there for one last hurrah in a demo tutorial style format where we create whatever we want to. So grab your beverages, have them on the ready, and I will see you guys this evening. Mwah. Big hugs to you out there, and I'll see you next time.